Hello and welcome to Scott Bryant on YouTube or Chek Personal Trainer on Instagram, and thank you for clicking on the video. Please subscribe, please share, please like. And this video is all about muscle pain relief at home remedies, and these things I use all the time for my own body. So whether you're coming home with aches and pains from work, or whether you're coming home from the gym and you get DOMS, which is delayed onset muscle soreness from your workouts, here's some great top tips that you should try out. And the same if you're getting back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain. The first tip is make sure that you're fully hydrated. If you're fully hydrated, there's one little test that you can try. Put your hand out flat, pinch your skin, and if it bounces back really quickly, you're hydrated. If it goes back really slowly, then you're not. And if you're going number twos, poos, and they're really hard to pass, or they're like rabbit poo, then you know that you're not hydrating fully. So you need to get your hydration levels. Remembering that if you've got pain in your spine or a ligament or a joint more than a ligament, it's like steel on ice when you're dehydrated. So it's like the ice skater when he does a big turn and all that ice comes up, but you're taking it away thinly on your spine. So always stay hydrated first. The next one that is really important is stretching. But stretching what needs to be stretched, not stretching what doesn't need to be stretched. So you'll see footballers on the football pitch, and when they do a quad stretch, you'll see that the heel doesn't touch the bum, so they need more stretching. But if the heel can touch the bum easily, that means you're hypermobile in that area, so you shouldn't stretch it. And this is what I do as a Master Paul Chek practitioner, is that I'll do an orthopedic assessment to find out what you should stretch and what you shouldn't stretch. Remember, if you're stretching a muscle that is hypermobile or long and weak, you can damage it. If the muscle is overly tight and you try to stretch it too fast, you could rip it and damage it. So you've got to be really, really careful when stretching muscles. But if you must stretch muscles, make sure your body is always warm, like you jump up and down, or you go for a walk, you come back, or you have a hot bath or a hot shower and you get out of the hot bath or shower, then stretch straight after, because the body's warm, so the muscle is more flexible. Remember, the muscle is like an elastic band. If it's cold and not warm, you'll pull it and it will snap. So be very aware of that, especially if you've got some sort of pain. The next one is that you can use different creams. So the cream that I use is called Theraline. Can you see that? So if I have a little ache or a pain, I'll put it on that night, or I'll put it on after I've had a shower, or if I'm going out for the day, I'll put it on that muscle part. And this has no chemicals or no crap in it. And it's used by a lot of osteopaths and physios as well. So there it is, so you can see the name. That's really good stuff. I've been using it for years. It always works. So you can use anti-inflammatory drugs, but the anti-inflammatory drugs can damage your gut. So you've got to be really careful of the gut biome. You want to keep that gut biome as healthy as you possibly can and not put painkillers in, especially aspirin. Aspirin has been linked into putting ulcers in the gut and making the gut bleed. So I wouldn't do that if I was you. Unless, if the pain is at a 10 level, then maybe you might need drug intervention to get out of pain. But if the pain is at a 5 or a 4 level, or a 1 level, which means very low, stop being a pussy and just deal with it. Yes? Okay, thank you. Right, the next one is ice and rest. So I've said this to a friend of mine that damaged their Achilles tendon. Have you been icing and resting it at night? No. How long you had the injury for? Oh, over a year, it hasn't gone. Well, the reason why, because you're always using the Achilles, because you're walking, you're sitting down, you're standing up, everyday life. So if you're not resting and relaxing it and giving it ice in which to speed up the healing process, then that's why you're going to have the injury for longer than a year. So it's completely stupid to me when people get an injury that they don't ice it, they don't rest it, they bandage it up and they still keep working out with it. But really it's the body saying, hey you, listen, stop being stupid, slow down and do less. Then the body will go into a healing holistic phase, which is the whole, and the body will start to feel better. So let's say if I had a chest injury from doing too much bench press, I'll just train legs for a month and stay off a chest until the chest feels better. Does that make sense? The same as if I had tennis elbow, I wouldn't do any pushing movements until the tennis elbow pain had gone away, or I'd done the strengthening with my fingers and corrected my posture in which to get over the tennis elbow. Does that make sense? So ice, rest, relax, get a massage. And the best massage tool that's ever come out, in my opinion, is the Theragun. And I've got the little one and I've got the big one as well. And I find this to be a fantastic tool. As in, I can carry it in my bag, I can take it in the gym, take it anywhere. And I use it most days on my tight muscles. And if I've got a little pain in a muscle, I might use it on the painful muscle as well. And the great thing about it is that when you buy it, it's about £140, but you get a charger with it, you get many attachments. Don't let your girlfriend use it on that area because it will hurt. And it has 3 different speeds on it as well. So you get different attachments, different speeds to your liking, and it's very heavy. So you don't have to push really hard in which to feel it. The weight of this, the handle here, is enough. And then you just do that with it. And let this do the work, not you do the work. So the Theragun, I highly recommend it. I've had it since they bought them out. And I've got 2, which I absolutely love. Now next, exercise. Now, exercising with pain can be done. But you've got to be extremely smart about the exercise that you're doing with pain. So if you're seeing somebody like me, a corrective exercise specialist that's got over 26 years of experience, I will make sure that your pain doesn't get worse, that it will definitely go down, okay? But if you're going against what I'm trying to teach you, like if you've got lower back pain, and I recommend you to wear Vivo barefoots, because it normalises your feet more, which will then normalise your hip and pelvis, which will then reduce the pain level, then how can you expect to get out of pain? Does that make sense? So it's so important that when you're exercising with lower back pain, you can still do deadlifts, but go very, very light and do half a repetition instead of going all the way down and all the way up. Maybe going to the Smith machine, the disabled bit of equipment, which is only really designed for people with injuries and people that are disabled. And I'm not saying that in a rude way, because it supports them more so they can go heavier. And if you do an experiment of using a Smith machine for, 1 rep maximum loading, and then go to normal free weights, you'll find that your strength will go through the floor, as in you're not strong, and you'll be much weaker because of using the Smith machine stabilizes the muscles that need to work, as in they're not working as much, as well as compared to using a free bar. Does that make sense? So you can use a system when you're in pain to exercise, when you're in pain, called overlapping fitness. And that's when, if you're doing, say you've got knee pain, if you squat, say if you're used to squatting all the way down, lower than parallel, you just squat above parallel for a couple of weeks. Then as the pain reduces, then you go lower. Then you go lower. Then before you know it, you're doing a full squat, you're going all the way down. Does that make sense? The same with a bench press. If you've got a shoulder injury, don't bring it all the way down. Bring it to a fist, then away again. So not all the way down, so you're not over stressing the capsule of your shoulder if you've got a shoulder injury, or you've got a pectoral injury, or just don't train it until it's totally recovered. I remember I was doing dips and I was going too low, and I ripped my pectoral. And that gave me a valuable lesson to not always go mega deep or go too low. Does that make sense? So, you know, a skilled coach like myself, I'd be watching you to make sure that you don't go too low if you've got an injury or if you've got some sort of pain. I train clients at a pain level of 10, and we reduce it down to 0 over the weeks of training together. Because if your posture's bad, we need to normalise posture. Yeah? If your hamstrings are tight, they need to become looser. If your quads are weak, they need to be stronger. If your calves are weak, they need to be stronger. So I do this big 4-hour assessment in which to find out exactly what your body needs in which to get you out of pain. And I don't just use exercise. I use the analogy of a Chinese dragon where using different modalities. So you might need massage, you might need to hydrate, you might need to do specific breathing exercises, you might need to do specialized core exercises designed for you. You may need to get to sleep more because you're not sleeping enough, and that may be jacking up your pain. Or you may be on totally the wrong diet. You might be eating like the paleo diet, but really you're a carbohydrate type, which is affecting the sympathetic to parasympathetic sides of the nervous system. And if you're in sympathetic dominant because you're eating the wrong foods all the time, that will ramp up your pain. If you're a parasympathetic dominant person, we need to get you to eat more like a carbohydrate type, because that will balance out your nervous system like that instead of your nervous system being like that. Does that make sense? As in the load in the body. And I've seen this time and time and time again when I change the client's diet, if they've got body fat, or if they've not got body fat, or they've got low levels of body fat, and they're eating the wrong type of diet, this jacks them up sympathetic. They need to be more parasympathetic in which to get the body to start doing its internal healing. Does that make sense? And remember, if you've got parasites and fungus in your gut, that's going to be refluxing to your lower spine. So if you don't clean up your gut, you're not going to get out of pain. So it doesn't matter if you see, you know, an osteopath, a chiropractor, or a physio, or a doctor, and they're going to prod and poke you and push you around, but not look at your gut health. How can you expect to ever get out of pain? Does all that make sense? So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe there. Please like, please share. And I hope it helps you to get out of pain. If you are in serious pain and you want some help, comment down below or go to my website, Active Bryant Fitness Systems. Thank you. 18 in charms. Bye-bye.